Hello, so continuing with our reading of the Angelic Pearls 144. I've been getting quite a few comments from people that have studied these codes already, and a couple of comments on my videos just sort of saying that, these are codes that need to be reread time and time again. So I just wanted to make that point just to say yes, if we read these codes, sorry, just one second, something's coming up on my screen. Often, I think I have mentioned it as we've gone through anyway, often seeds are being planted as we're reading codexes like this, and they don't always sprout instantly. But the more we go back and reread, we can hear and learn new things, because as things are opening up and awakening within us, then we can see and hear new things as we go back. And also, I'd always recommend, right, obviously, if you can afford it, to get the book as well. I do like to support authors. I love to buy books, particularly books like this anyway, because these are books that I will go back to again and again and again. Okay, so with that said, let's start. So Pearl Code 10, the Golden Bowl. So the body of the Golden Ark, Pearl Code 10, represents you as an individual in unison with the Earth sphere. The ark at the top with diamonds inside represents a diamond light from the great central sun. The ark with the arms reaching up is touching the meridians of an ascended consciousness. The lower arms reach into the meridians of a descended consciousness. These two meridians create a bowl. The golden dots above the pyramid represent Earth's crystal heart flame. As you can see, the arc arms that touch the higher universal structure are feeding directly into the heart of Earth. The selected individuals who are at a stage of consciousness that matches the same vibration as the diamond light from the elevated consciousness will move into the heart when the gateway is open to them. These are the souls that have merged their physical bodies with all of their energetic bodies to be able to receive the light from the Golden Ark Bowl. And I'm just going to show you that picture there as well. It's a little bit hard to see when I show it on screen. And it's the 4 and the 20 elders casting their crowns before the divine throne, 1803 to 5 by William Blake. And you can see that image on Wikimedia. And then there's just a little passage. When we had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each holding a harp and golden bowls filled of incense, which are the prayers of the Kashadim, Revelations 5:8. So incense stems from the original scripture odors, which means not just a scent, but also a pervasive quality about something. Pervasive is widely spread, is not a vibration and odour. The prayers of the holy ones fill the golden ark bowls with their vibration, which then will be turned over and poured into the selected ones ascending. Selected soul sparks choosing the pathway of expansion. These 24 elders are the 144 Seraphim, the caretakers and guardians of the mighty all-grid. Grid meaning time from the mind. We sit overseeing all brainwaves, which are timelines. I love the thought that all brainwaves being timelines. Seraphs are created in pairs, 12 groups of 6, total of 72, from the positive side of creation, and 12 groups of 6, total of 72, from the negative side of creation, are we, the 24, which is 72 plus 72, which is the 144, that sit upon the throne of the God Source. The filling of the Golden Ark Bowl is equivalent to the firing off your 4 layers pyramidal neurons inside your brain. This is truly where the alpha waves are created, which therefore create your very own reality projected outward. With that said, the Golden Ark Bowl is the greater central sun. The greater central sun gathers the life-giving energies in each universal structure of the 24 elders, so they can then pour into the new world. So this diamond light coming in is getting this ark, this bowl ready. Think of it as codes, receiving coded upgrades from the motherboard of the computer. The ones who are illuminated will be taken first, for they are the ones helping to fill this bowl. They are the energy that the elders will be using to fasten these new worlds of existence. Now on the negative side of the spectrum, you have the same split happening, represented by the arc arms reaching downwards. This is the descending portion. Think of how the sun comes up and illuminates thy house, but there are portions of the house that create a shade, a portion that is not receiving the light. This is what some label as darkness. Those within the darkness can only see the shade. However, the illuminated ones are one with the sun. They are above shining light and can see all angles. The shaded portion cannot. They can only view from the angle they reside within. The shaded portion will split from the body of earth. Just as friction is needed to separate two cells, so too will the material world. The tridents emit a force field of energy that projects out from the energetic poles both north and south. Everything in creation has a great torus energy field. Where it enters the poles of a creation, it creates an opening field, a portal, a gateway, as shown in many ancient Christian artworks. This appears as an eye sideways, for it truly is an eye-opening event. It opens the eye of thy heart into a new field of consciousness that eventually your physical vessel will take you to. The toroidal field appears as a lattice of energies where the lines across create vortexes, meaning energy can be harvested, then used to create or destroy. Energy is meant to flow among the fields. If there is a blockage, it can build up and feed off the vortex energy, creating an off balance of your energy field. This is what stuck emotions do to the body, which can create a physical ailment such as cancer. Yeah, I mean, that's what I work with my clients, right? In soul therapy, it's a lot of what we're doing is actually, bringing in source, bringing in the soul, bringing in the light in order to transmute, melt, and really just allow those emotions that have got stuck, all the trauma, to actually pass through the body so that we can bring, clear up the energetic system so that they can receive the life force into all parts of the body that have become frozen and stuck in time through that trauma. The biggest off balance is anxiety and fatigue. The key is to not allow these currents of energy to cause havoc and barely keep your head above water. Instead, surrender to thy spirit and allow the flow of the stream to carry you. Become one with the stream, become one with thy spirit. This is the symbol of the trident, conqueror of the waters, warrior of the darkness, the depths of the ocean. So Zanita Ray says, the trident is a symbol of many ancient gods. The god Shiva holds a trident called a Trishula and a Damaru. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing these correctly. Just laugh at it. The Damaru is said to produce spiritual sounds by which the universe was created. The Damaru is shaped very much like a time portal. From what the angels and masters have shared with me, the trident is a symbol used by the guardians of the galaxy, the ones who guard the gates from the lower worlds to the higher worlds. In mythology, Neptune and Poseidon ruled the sea, the underworld. And I'm just going to show you another illustration there. Okay. Then there's just a little quote by the Hierarchy of Light Council. You all started to create and split into more droplets, to spread out and gain knowledge, to grow and play. Where you have been, past lives, is not to be focused on now. Your mission is to be the light, hold the light, spread it, and stay in high vibration in every now moment. The Law of One teachings. The oracles of the original Law of One teachings first came to Earth during the traditional split from 5D into 3D. They were known as descendants of the sun, born tribes because their bodies shined like the sun. To those who looked upon them, they were angels, pure messengers of the light, teachers on all subjects, but most importantly, that of oneness. Oneness with all of creation, both seen and unseen, teaching how to use the non-physical senses to feel into the oneness, teaching how to be one with the earth and all of her kingdoms, guiding all who were eager how to see that the universe is within, not without, teaching how to merge with the elements and become a dream walker, one who no longer sleeps but awakens to walk consciously through the dream, like Alice in the story, looking through the looking glass, walking in the Red King's dream, only to ponder, was it her own? The 12 Commandments. So this is interesting for me because My brother's always been really, well, not always, but in his later life become very religious, particularly Christianity. And, we've talked about the Ten Commandments, and I've never, I felt always a complete resistance to them, and also this knowing inside that those are not the commandments of God, that God would not make those commandments. They never made any sense to me on any level. So it's interesting to read this part. So the 12 commandments, and as I've come to know, much of what is in the Bible, of course there'll be truth in there. We know that it has been changed, manipulated in order to keep us really from connecting to our true source. So the 10 commandments transcribed in the teachings of now is a fragmented portion of the true commandments delivered at the time of Atlan. These sacred seeds were taken into the land known today as Egypt and kept by the priestess hoods of the Law of One. Originally, those of the temple orders were descendants of the sun-born tribes. These later were kept by the Druid priests and priestesses. When the conquest of takeover was ignited, they became hunted. A portion of them were taken beyond the veil to remain hidden, to keep the holy Anhu fair, angelic, human fair bloodline from being tainted. When we speak of the term Druid, it is but simpler and energetic frequency of your history programming. These sacred vessels were fully ignited with God's divine will, the sword of truth in their mouths, the sacred room of the Holy Mother, protected from the outside voices. So, commandment number 1. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. So this is from the King James Version. Transcribe from the original teachings that you are an ambassador of truth. Each day is God's will. Allow the God spark inside of you to lead you on your path. Allow no other to lead you but thy holy spark, the divine compass anchored in thy heart. Lowercase g for gods, for you are not but a fractal projection of the overall one. So that I can get on board with, right? Because that has always been my guiding compass as well, my own inner voice, my own heart, knowing that it is my heart, it is my guidance system that is leading me, and that may be outside of what the societal norm tells us it should be, but I've always followed that calling. So I can get on board with that resonates. Number 2, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. Oh, excuse me. Purging, releasing. Transcribe from the original teaching that thy is a projected image of the God source. Serve only thyself, meaning feed thy spirit within. Walk in the light of thy spirit, for it is the light, the truth, the way. Absolutely. You are the light, you are the truth, you are the way. It is within us. Number 3, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. So transcribe from the original teachings that you are to walk with integrity, not in a vain state. The abilities one possesses are but a mere projection of the all. It is an honour to serve the light. If one uses this to be only in service of self, then one will reap what thy sows. Yeah, and integrity really came into my awareness in my mid-30s through a meeting of a soulmate and a bit of a dark night of the soul that went on from that experience, and it really brought integrity into my forefront, and I just realised how important it was to stand in my integrity and in and honour the self, and just really ask myself in every moment, what is my intention in this interaction? Is it coming from a place of love from the heart, or is it coming from a place of the ego? And I went on a big journey with integrity. I realised from that integrity is so central to us really standing in our truth and in the light. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labour and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. It is thou shalt not do any work. Transcribe from the original teachings that through hard work, cleansing, balancing, opening the 6 lower energy centers in thy core vessel, thy will then the 7th ignite, aligning all, creating a stream of rainbow light from thy Christ self. From this point you are overlit by thy I am. The rest day, thy Christ self now crowns you. Your physical brain now starts the streaming from the crystal skull. This crystal skull is one with the universal mind. The key is to learn to rest the human mind, allowing the natural flow of light to steer you in every now moment. And there's a note, as I write this, the angels show me the Lord's luminous, which means light of life. So yeah, exactly, that is what I've come to realise on my journey. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you are on that same path as well, that it is the path of the self, as in healing the self, purifying, cleansing the vessel, cleansing our energetic fields of all that is not us, all those artificial mind control viruses and programs that are not the true us, that are blocking us from embodying more and more of our soul, like connecting deeper and deeper to source, because inside each and every one of our hearts is what we came here to do in this lifetime, is the mission that God has placed within us. So number 5, honour thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God doth give thee. Transcribe from the original teachings that you were created from the divine mother and divine father's energetic stream. Balance the feminine and masculine energies within. Be the eagle and the rose, the lion and the lamb, the fire and water. The sky above is blue, a mere representation of the cosmic waters you were created in. The clouds are white, a mere representation of the cosmic sperm you were seeded from. Divine masculine and divine feminine is the core base of all of creation. When you honour this, only then can one live as long as one desires upon the land matter density of the body, which is of the earth. Yeah, so this is what I come to know as the Hieros Gamos, the sacred holy marriage, the union, the divine union of the masculine and feminine energy within our own vessels, which then allows our body to, as it says, move into that Christed self, and be able to live in this body as long as one desires within this incarnation, because the bodies are created to regenerate, not to degenerate, and it is not normal, all this illness and all these illnesses within society which we have normalized. It's not normal. That's all due to this corruption, programming, these consciousness viruses. The body is an absolutely super healing machine. It self-generates, it self-heals as it works, as we give it the right environment, and it comes into alignment with the soul. So I love that. Number 6, thou shalt not kill. Transcribe from the original teaching that what source has created the very light elixir that creation stems from, thou shalt not dilute or alter. Allow nature to take its course, for all that is created serves a higher divine purpose upon the one blueprint of creation. So I love that, how it's actually related to the light force energy. Number 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. Transcribe from the original teaching that the sacred act of spiritual congregation between two souls ignites a fire between the hearts, a holy sacred act where two souls upon this plane of existence combine with source to create a pyramid gateway for the new soul to enter. The act of physical pleasure was not the organic blueprint created by humans. So I've read a little bit about this recently as some teachings have come my way in regards of some of the Egyptians' gods like Isis and the Magdalene, around coming together in a sacred union, and that often physical sex, not saying there's anything wrong with that at all, when there's two people that are coming together in divine union through the heart space, that often it was actually the act was not about being physical with each other, but actually merging each other's energies and working with the chakra systems together. So yeah, interesting. Number 8, thou shalt not steal. Transcribe from the original teaching that the light elixir one was created with is not to be altered or stolen by another. It is true some creation disobeys this law by sourcing light from another. However, this is not the universal law. The vibrational current said the Almighty gives one is only given away by their own divine free will and not to be stolen from. So we can see a lot of this happening, can't we? Or has been happening in the world where people have really been manipulated to give consent to things that they would not give consent to if they had the full facts and information. So it is a manipulation of free will. Number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbour. Transcribed from the original teaching that one should not criticise another part of creation. What you deem as fragments have seeds to plant for a divine purpose. Acceptance is key to divine harmony. And I think that is one we probably all find quite challenging in a way, because we've all grown up in a reality today in this incarnation that's been filled with judgments, hearing our parents gossip about other people, judge other people, because they're programmed to do that as well. So I'm not judging them for that at all. Hearing it on the media, on the news, everyone's judging everybody, and that's something again that came really into my awareness during 2020, because I used to always pride myself on thinking, I'm a non-judgmental person. I'm like live and let live. That was a philosophy that I held. I realised we were all on our own paths. However, during that time, I realised that I was becoming really judgmental towards anybody that was not awake and sharing the same consciousness as me. So it really came up into my face to look at, so that I could start to heal and integrate those parts of me. Now I realised that those judgments were coming from fear. I was in fear that we were going to be imprisoned through the diktats that were happening, right? So I realised it was from fear, but that took me on a really deep journey with judgment. And whilst I'm not saying that I am perfect in this now, it's something that I hold in my awareness, and it's something that I intend not to judge another, to understand that we all have got our own paths, and also we are all most people are doing their best within this school, and it can be challenging at times. We all know this, it can be challenging, but what I like to do is hold space for other people that are not at the same alignment as me. That is fine, and we can choose who we have in our environment as well. We don't have to be in the environments with people that are in these lower energies if we don't choose to. We can also choose to have boundaries, and we should have we should I don't like that word should. It's like we can choose to have boundaries and protect our energetic fields as well. So number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy I've just read that. Number 10, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's house. Transcribed from the original teachings that thou shalt not desire to yearn to be anyone else. Love that. House, holy temple, physical vessel, each created as an elixir of the God source stream for a divine purpose. Each a thread needed to create the overall tapestry of creation. So again, in this reality, so not only have we been programmed to just judge, and also when we're judging, right, we're really judging ourselves, to judge out, and we often judge ourselves most critical of all, and we have to learn to have compassion and love for ourselves, and we have to learn to really radically love ourselves, love all those parts that we've been taught we should be ashamed of, and that is the shadow work, that's the integration work that we go through. But we're also really programmed to be competing against everyone. It goes back to this, the theory of Taoism, the survival of the fittest, which is, that theory is totally debunked. But it is something that is taught to us as fact as we are growing up, and there is, and we are taught to really compete against each other. There's that feeling, it's that lack consciousness, that fear consciousness, where we need to be. We need to compete against each other to be safe, whereas that's not true. We're all unique expressions of source, and we've all got our own unique gifts and talents that we came here to express upon this planet. And I believe this is the period of time that we're in right now, where we're all starting to awaken to those gifts and talents and starting to dissolve, transmute all of the false self, all of the illusion, all of the egoic self, as we start to bring in the true self and really start to awaken to the divine will again. So I love that. Okay. And there's original 2 extra commandments. Okay, so 11, All of creation is a mirror, absolutely. From the original teaching, meaning that all is merely a reflection of thyself, which is the all, so within, so without. When one sees that all around them is thyself, only then can one receive the keys to unlock the mysteries of mysteries. Yeah, and again, I say that to my clients, right? What we are seeing outside of us, what we experience, is really a mirror of what's going on in our inner world. And if we shift inside, then we shift the outer mirror that reflects back upon us. So number 12, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. From the original teaching of the law of one, meaning that we are all one, we flow from the same source stream. Orange is a representative of the solar plexus. Now that, I've never heard that before. That's interesting. I've always connected to the solar plexus as being yellow, but perhaps that's conditioning, right? For this is the core of knowing thyself, where the umbilical cord is fed from the Divine Mother. Originally an orange held 12 segments, for it represents the 12 segments used to create thy own elixir of life. The monad holds within itself 12 layers, 12 knights of the round table. A sphere of creation is thy light spark when separated from source. Orange meaning bright like the sun, from which one was birthed. Just like the orange is humanity created as a whole, however, when peeled appears 12 segments, 12 strands of DNA, 12 rays of creation you flow upon. But just like the segments of an orange, are you not all still simply one orange? Interesting. I'd love to hear your experiences, interactions with the chakra systems and the colours of the chakra systems, especially in terms of the solar plexus. I've always seen the sacral as being the orange centre. So I'm just interested. End of the day, I don't believe that is massively important. I kind of, when I'm teaching about the chakras, I really say, look, just go with whatever colours come to you, because some people see colours, some people don't see the colours when they're working with the chakras, and some people may see different colours, and that is absolutely fine, because everything is upgrading in our timelines right now. But I'm just interested to know what your experiences have been with the solar plexus in terms of yellow and orange. So I just want to show this picture, which is the Last Supper. So it says here the Christ self is seen with a golden halo and the 12 aspects of self with a black sun halo, meaning of the chaos realm. So I think we've probably, in fact my brother's got a picture of the Last Supper on his wall. Revelations, translations. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection, transcribed from the original teachings, that those who do not pass through the ascension gateway will return to an earthly world for another 1,000 lifetimes. Karmic cycles are in 1,000 incarnation rotations. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection, but thy shall be priest of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So that's another extract from the King James Bible, transcribed from the original teachings, that those who pass through the ascension gates will be as one with their Christ body for 1,000 terms in the ascended world. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of these things which were written in the books according to their works. Transcribed from the original teachings, that those who have departed will pass through at the gates of ascension accordingly. During the 1,000 years of deception upon an earthly world, those who depart await in the halls of truth until the gates open. Time for them is equivalent to a week in the incarnated realms. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. That doesn't sound too good, does it? But let's see what the transcription says, what the original meaning is transcribed. Transcribed from the original teaching, that those who do not pass through the gates of ascension when their higher self descends will not be able to hold the light. The lower self is unable to sustain the amount of light from its higher self while in the bridal chamber, and therefore is succumbed by the light. And I saw a new heaven. I'll have to kind of like just ponder that a little bit. So, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Transcribed from the original teachings that whilst in the bridal chamber one sees its higher self descending to then merge as one with the lower self incarnated is no more. One no longer exists in the underworld, the depths of the ocean are no more. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Transcribed from the original teaching of John, witnessing his higher self descending, the holy city is one's higher self. Jerusalem, in its original teaching, was the word Salem, meaning complete and undamaged. What he speaks of is the wedding of one's Christ light, becoming once again pure and complete. So it feels like the Hieros Gammas again, right? The union of the masculine and feminine. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Transcribed from the original teachings that when one ascends from the plane, they enter a plane that does not hold such a wide spectrum of feelings. Only in this plane can one feel anything from love to hate. The entire spectrum of emotion resides here. Yeah, I say this often to my clients as well, to zoom out and get the bigger picture, because often on this 3D reality, if we're going through pain and that, we can feel like we've done something wrong, we're bad, why is this happening to me? But that's not the truth. We are souls, and we are eternal souls, and we have forever, right? We have forever. What we're going to do, we're going to want to experience different angles, perceptions of reality, to see how the soul grows and expands through those different lenses, through those different experiences. We're curious beings, we're creative beings, and we're curious about things, and we want to experience this richness and array of emotions. It is a gift to be able to experience this richness and array of emotions. I will give unto him that is Arthurist of the foundation of the water of life freely. Transcribed from the original teaching that one who is eager for a deeper understanding of whom they are has a deep desire to expand their consciousness. The river of life will always pour into you. Just look within, ask thy spirit, and open thy heart to the light inside. Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Transcribed from the original teaching describing one's Christ self, the stone spoken of in the original teaching was a clear opal-like stone. Today, jasper is an impure silica, a mere representation of transforming one's DNA from carbon into silica to then merge as one with the Christ-like, creating a clear crystal. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Transcribed from the original teaching were the 12 gates, represent the 12 dimensional gates of the 12 emanations of source. At each gateway you merge with the 12 emanations of your Christ self. The 12 tribes merely are a metaphor of the 12 DNA strands. Upon creation, all bindings of DNA stem from 12 ribbons. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, on the west 3 gates. Transcribed from the original teaching explaining how the 12 emanations of source goes out in all 4 cardinal points of creation. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Transcribed from the original teachings that all 12 energy centers are needed to be balanced together, just like a foundation. The 12 names represent the 12 archetypes of one's Christ self. And he mastered the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. Transcribed from the original teaching that man is of the angels. In totality, man has 144 DNA strands as explained under Peal Code 4. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedon, the fourth an emerald. Transcribed from the original teaching explaining the 12 energy centers. As the verse goes on, it finishes explaining the rest of the energy centers needed for one to ascend into the higher self. As the 12 gates were 12 pearls, every several gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. Transcribed from the original teaching, how after one passes through the bridge plane, they unite with the next level of their Christ self. A pearl, as prior explained, is your true form, pure golden white crystal light wrapped upon the ribbons of the creational rainbow. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it. The glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. Transcribed from the original teaching that one's crystal's light is 3 times brighter than any sun. All can be seen in this light. No other source of light is needed, for there is no darkness. And there shall in no wise enter into anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Transcribed from the original teaching that once one has ignited all 12 energy centers of DNA strands, you become overlit by your own crystal's light, creating a shield around you where nothing less than love can enter. Then it just ends with a little verse. And he saith unto me, Write, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, These are the true sayings of God. Right, so that is it for this section, and we'll be moving on next to the Pearl Code 13, the Crystal Lattice. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I will be seeing you soon. Thank you.